When each day of childhood is another day of work,
This situation is very common in this area. They have a very poor situation.
getting older and stronger is a sentence to work longer and harder.
Most of these people is not only the miner and the wife. Normally it's 5, 6, 7 kids even.
From the sweat and toil of centuries, built on the backs of sinners, saints, and slaves. A city whose very name once meant riches beyond measure lives in the twilight of faded splendor.
Potosi is a mining town in the southwest of Bolivia. It has a very long history. This was an extremely rich city during colonial times.
Perched at more than 13,000 feet above sea level, Potosi is the world's highest city. Once it was also the largest and richest community in the New World.
The silver that was mined here, it's been said, funded the Spanish Empire, funded the Spanish Armada. There's a saying, when something is very valuable, it's worth a Potosi.
The wealth of Potosi came from a mountain that towers over the city, a mountain that to this day produces minerals and misery. The mines on Cerro Rico, or Rich Hill, have been yielding the wealth of the Andes since 1545, when native people were enslaved to enrich colonial masters by extracting silver from the earth. Nearly 500 years later, most of the silver is gone, but the miners are still here.
Sometimes you have entire families who are involved in mine work in one way or another. You have the mothers who work outside. Sometimes they have jobs guarding tools and ore overnight. Sometimes they have jobs sifting ore. Often young children will have a job pushing a wheelbarrow.
Today, it is a worldwide boom in the demand for tin that keeps the mines open, keeps local people employed, and keeps tapping a rich deposit of shame.
CARE has found kids as young as 8 starting to work in the mines themselves. The average age at which they start is about 10.
For hundreds of children in and around Potosi, childhood ends here.
The kids see that they can make a little money by going to work in the mines, and often they feel a lot of pressure to do so because their family really needs the resources.
Maximo Ocampo knows the needs of his family only too well. Altogether, there are 8 of them, suffering in the forced intimacy of a rented one-room shack. Maximo is a survivor. Generally, Bolivian miners die of silicosis pneumonia after 10 or 15 years in the mines. Maximo's been at it for nearly 30. But every day, his wife Faustina wonders if her children will have their father for much longer.
Un minero muchas veces no llega.
Sometimes a miner doesn't make it home. He gets home the next day, so it's very worrying for a woman because we don't know if our husbands are alive or dead.
Maximo has never suffered a serious injury in the mines, and he is still strong enough to volunteer to help build a new church in the mining community of San Cristobal.
I give my work to the Lord in the evenings because during the day I'm working to support my family.
Faith is becoming more important to Maximo each day. He says silicosis has infected his lungs, making him feel much older than his 52 years. His family knows he is suffering.
Sí, porque ya siente sus pulmones.
I think he's beginning to feel bad in his legs, and sometimes in the afternoon he's not eating anymore. He doesn't have any dinner, so I think he's beginning to feel more ill.
For the youngest children of Maximo and Faustina, schoolwork is still a priority. But once a son becomes big enough for physical labor, a miner's cough means other work has become more urgent.
If the father is not working, the kids, they have to help the family. Even the wife has to work, has to look for many different resources to get some economical help to the family.
One reason so many children now work in the mines above Potosi is that in the current economic reality, a family is a workforce.
They don't have any bread to themselves, and why are they going to have more family? That's the special believing of these people. In another way, of course, they said, other kid more. Okay, another 2 hands to work. He's going to help us.
These mines are actually run by the miners themselves. Years ago, they formed cooperatives that took over abandoned government and corporate mines. The more mineral a miner can take out, the more money he can take in. The result is larger families, with children expected to contribute to the unit production of the family unit. The recent discovery of a new vein of high-quality silver has even more miners scrambling to take their chances underground.
And now it's the biggest mine, and many miners are working. There are many young people, for example, they begin at 12, 13, very young, for working into this mine.
At 16, Marco Ocampo is a 2-year veteran of the mines. 2 years helping his family survive. 2 years too many.
Muchos niños de 17 años, 18 años.
Sometimes kids of 17 or 18 years old, they go up into the mine in the morning and they come back dead in the afternoon.
The last thing that Marco's parents want is for any of their children to work in the mines. The last thing they want, but the first thing they need.
No sé cómo aliviar a mi familia porque
I don't know how to support my family because I need some help from my kids to study. I don't even have a home.
Marco vows he will work in the mines for only a few more years. He says his family is important, but he must follow his own dream.
Parte de la minería, trabajar a esta edad.
I would like to be a professional, perhaps an engineer or something like that.
For Marco's parents, the greatest fear is that his dream will be swallowed by the mine.
Más preocupado de su padre.
I am more worried than his father.
Porque pienso que no puede llegar a mi hijo porque muchas veces que está pasando tantos accidentes en la mina.
Because I am afraid that he can have an accident, because in the mine is really dangerous. Any accident can happen anytime.
When Marco's father listens to his son's constant coughing and throat clearing, he hears the echoes of a life he would wish on no one, let alone his own son.
al contrario me dio el mal pago y me dio la enfermedad de la silicosis.
In opposition, of course, I didn't have so much money, and I'm very ill now. I have silicosis.
Es muy difícil, las horas son muy largos. Aparte de eso, lo que te cansa.
It's very difficult because inside the mine the hours are very long, you're very tired, you go inside very clean and you come outside very sweaty and tired and you swallow a lot of dust and it's really difficult.
In a song about a miner's hard life and the pain he endures before finding faith, Maximo Ocampo is every miner who has ever toiled underground. Every miner who has ever prayed for his son's deliverance from a life that seems to promise only an early death. That prayer may someday be answered, but it will not be today, or even tomorrow, when father and son head for the mine together. When World Report continues, Marco's descent into the dark heart of the rich hill of Potosi.